Hi, I'm Jeff Frank, the minister of St. Paul's Universalist Church in Little Falls, New York, and I've been reflecting on the mother figures in my life. And for that reason, I wanted to start this week's service here in my home office. As I think you can see, I am surrounded by books. I love learning, I love reading, I love pursuing knowledge, and I got that because from the time I was very, very young, my mother, Nancy, read to me and encouraged my love of books, would take me to the library and made a big deal of that. And that was a special place for me growing up. Her mother, my Grandma Newton, is the inspiration for my sense of humor. So you can either thank her or blame her for my humor, depending on how you look at that. Grandma Newton also was, inspirational in encouraging my cooking, my love of cooking. My dad's mom, Grandma Frank, she had PBS, which we didn't have growing up with, rabbit ears and TV antenna days. And Grandma Frank instilled a love of, science and history and classical music, which I kind of appreciated when I was little, but have really grown to appreciate in adulthood. And then, of course, there's my wife, Dawn, mother of our children, my steadfast partner in this crazy life journey with all of its ups and downs. This week's service is about honoring the mother figures in our lives in words and in music. So let's enter our sanctuary and begin.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another and with our God.
And here we are. In the way of announcements, I want to take a moment on behalf of our neighbor church in Salisbury Center to thank everyone who helped with their chicken dinner. My understanding is it sold out in about 15 minutes. They're great cooks up there, so I'm not surprised. I'm just a little bummed that I didn't get there myself in time. But at least I knew in time, so I didn't make the trip unnecessarily. But on behalf of the Universalist Society of Salisbury, thank you for your support of them. These candles are all lit, and they're to honor the many different types of mothers and mother figures that we will be talking about today. But first, let us open with our traditional lighting of our chalice. We light the flaming chalice as a symbol of freedom in the ongoing search for truth. We light it as a symbol of love for God and for humanity. I'd like to open this week's service with the words of Leah Angiri. On Mother's Day, let us mark how beautiful and complex it can be to mother and to be mothered. To those who have mothered, we thank you. To those who rejoice in the work, the role, the presence of mothering and mothers, we celebrate with you. To those who are in the thick of parenting children of any age, we appreciate you. To those who experience loss through infertility, abortion, miscarriage, adoption, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who have lost their mothers, we grieve with you. To those who have endured abuse at the hands of their mothers, we acknowledge you. To those who experience pain at the marking of this day, we witness you. To those who are single moms, grandmoms, stepmoms, foster moms, adoptive moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. May we reflect with gratitude on the wide spectrum of mothering that happens in our lives and in our communities. Here's Mark with our opening music, The Gift of Love. This is a ceremony to honor those who have mothered us, and it is adapted from the work of Barbara Child. She writes, "I don't know about you, but I am a little bit skittish about holidays that seem to have originated with the greeting card people. That's not true, in fact, with Mother's Day. At least as far back as the 18th century in England, for instance, people celebrated what they called Mothering Sunday, taking a particular kind of cake, a gingerbread man, to their mothers and seeking their blessing. Still today, Hallmark and company have a way of imposing on us whole constellations of feelings that may or may not relate to our own experiences and the feelings that flow with them. Some of us greet this day with great joy as a time to honor our mothers, those who are at our side or at least no further away than the other end of the telephone. Some of us have lost our mother long enough ago, and that grief has been transformed into the quiet joy of memories that warm our aging hearts. But some of us encounter this day with more sorrow than joy. Some of us have newly lost their mothers, and the wounds of that are still raw. Some know that they are on the brink of losing their mothers, and for some, this day produces unsought reminders of the mothering that for them never was. Their relationship with their mother having been severed in anger or wrung out through years of painful, torturing disagreements and misunderstandings. Some of us know little or even nothing of our birth mother, having grown up with another's care. And so when the Hallmark people shout into the deepest recesses of our willing or unwilling ears that now is the time to honor our mother, it is no wonder that we don't all respond in the same way. Yet we have all been mothered by someone sometime. Yes, of course, perhaps by the woman who brought us forth into the world. But perhaps what we remember of our mothering was by another. By a grandparent or aunt or uncle, perhaps. Yes, men can mother too. They can love and give and teach by modeling how to be in this world. They can lift us up when we are beaten down, can hold us when some monster threatens, can wash our bloody knees and spirits. Maybe the mothering that comes to mind this morning is that of a teacher or a friend. I'd like to invite you now to take a moment and think of someone who has mothered you. In your mind, I'd like you to take this sentence, mull it over, and complete it. Dear mother, or dear whoever comes to mind, I honor you today because you... Take a moment to think that over. Mother's Day calls up powerful feelings in us also because of the vastly different experiences we have had as mothers ourselves, or as not being mothers. Some of us are happy mothers on this day with our children at our side or calling to send us their love and good wishes. Some of us, though, of any and all gender identities, have never birthed a child. Some of us have never even once been pregnant, though we have longed to be. Some have miscarried in spite of all their best efforts to give birth. And for some, Mother's Day calls back to the front of the brain memories of letting go, of abortions, or of children killed or dying long before their time, or of our children adopted by others or taken from us by others, in or out of court, or our children estranged from us for reasons that we may never fully understand. Yet, just as we have all, sometime by someone, been mothered, so have we, in turn, all mothered our own children or those of another. Even if we have never birthed a baby, we have birthed perhaps a book or a painting, a garden or a song. Somewhere, sometime, we have all sown seeds of gladness. So I again invite you to think the name of someone or something you have mothered. Complete this sentence in your mind. Dear yourself, I honor you today because you have. As I said, these candles represent the many different types of mothers and mother figures that we have in our lives. And what we have done here is a rite of passage. We have looked back on our lives and paid attention to the mothering that was a part of them, the mothering we have received and the mothering that we have given. In doing so, we cast our lot with the human family, past, present, and future. Amen. Here's Mark with You Raise Me Up. I'd like to close with these words of Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers, the never wanted to be mothers, the it's complicated mothers, the birth mothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, stepmothers, the used to be dad mothers, and more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, those who grieve their mothers, and those whose grief is complex. For all the communities that mother, and for all who depend on the great mother, you are held and you are beloved. We hope to see you next week. Let us extinguish our chalice as Mark shares the singing of our benediction.